So today I'm going to be doing a presentation about Saskatchewan species, more specifically in Aspen Parkland. So the first species I'm going to be doing is the wood frog. So the first question I'm going to be answering is what its scientific name is. Its scientific name is Lithobae sylvicus. The wood frog is located between central Saskatchewan, between southern grasslands and northern boreal forests. They're also held in major cities like Saskatoon, Yorkton, and North Battleford. Its life cycle starts out as an egg, then a tadpole, then a froglet, and then an adult. Its life expectancy is 3 to 5 years. The wood frog's habitat is moist, forested areas for foraging and hibernation, and fish-free seasonal wetlands, like vernal pools for breeding. The food sources for the adults are insects like beetles, flies, mosquitoes, ants, crickets, and caterpillars, and arachnids like spiders, worms, and mollusks like slugs and snails. The food sources for the tadpoles are algae, detritus, which means decaying matter, and other tadpoles, because they're carnivorous. The behaviors that wood frogs have are that they mate in the early spring, from March to April. A mating call sounds like a duck, and when the female arrives, they do this thing called the amplexus, and lay 1,000 to 3,000 eggs, which hand on to submerged vegetation and fertilized by the male. Some of the other behaviors that wood frogs have is hibernation, and they hibernate by freezing up to 67 to 70% of water in their body. Their brain, heart, and body activity ceases, called a biological antifreeze, by their liver having to rapidly produce urea and glucose, which acts as a cyroprotectants, which keep them alive. When spring comes, they thaw in at least 3 days after that. Depths is between 4 to 10 centimeters on top of the soil and water, and hibernate 65 meters from the water pond, and have the snow and damp leaves to keep them from drying out. Their average size is 2 to 8 centimeters from snout to vent. Some of their prey, whenever they're eggs, are leeches, newts, and aquatic insects. Tadpoles are eaten by diving beetles, fish, birds, water bugs, and salamander larvae. Adults are eaten by snakes, herons, raccoons, skunk, minks, foxes, coyotes, and larger frogs. Some of the wood frog behaviors are that they're mostly solitary and spend much of their time hidden in leaf litter on forest floors. They're known for their unique ability to survive, being frozen in winter and becoming active again in early spring. They are most active during cool, moist conditions and move quickly to breeding sites as soon as snow melts. Breeding locations of wood frogs are freshwater pools, like vernal ponds, which form from melting snow and rain. These pools usually lack fish, making them safer for eggs and tadpoles. They prefer shallow, still water in wooded areas. Courtship is that the male wood frogs attract females by making short, duck-like quacking calls. During mating, the male clasps the female in a position called amplexus, where she lays eggs and he fertilizes them externally. Breeding happens quickly, often within just a few days. The way that you identify wood frogs is usually a brown, tan, or reddish color, helping them blend in with leaves. Their most noticeable feature is a dark mask across their eyes, similar to a raccoon. They have a light-colored belly and a distinct dark line along the upper lip. Their bodies are fairly small and smooth, with long legs for jumping. The wood frog isn't endangered. They're spread stably across all of North America. Some of their special adaptations include physical freeze tolerance. Wood frogs can survive being frozen in winter. Their bodies produce glucose that acts like antifreeze, protecting cells. And another thing is camouflage coloring. Their brown-tan colors blend into leaf litters. And the dark eye mask breaks up the outline of the eye, makes them harder for predators to spot. Behavioral adaptation. In early spring breeding, they breed right after snow melts. which means that they give their tadpoles time to grow up before the ponds dry up. Use of temporary pools. They choose fish-free ponds, which reduces risks of eggs being eaten. By hiding in leaf litter, they spend most of their time concealed, which helps them avoid predators and keep their moisture. Some of the common diseases or parasites is ranavirus, a viral infection that can cause internal bleeding and organ failure, and can lead to sudden die-offs of frog populations. And there's this other one, which I can't name, which is caused by a fungus, which infects the skin and can interfere with breathing and water balance, can be deadly in severe cases. The parasites that they have are flatworms and can cause deformalities like extra or missing limbs. And roundworms, they live inside the body and can weaken the frog. Leeches attach onto the skin and feed on their blood. So the next animal I'm going to be doing is the red fox, or also known as vulpes. Where foxes are located is everywhere because they're very adaptable. They mainly live in southern prairies, parkland region, boreal forests, and urban and rural areas. Their life cycle starts by mating in winter, adults between January and March. They birth in early spring, and they give birth to 4 to 6 pups. In early growth, kids stay in the den for a few weeks, then begin exploring and playing. Their learning stage begins when young foxes learn to hunt and survive from their parents through the summer. They become independent in the fall. By autumn, they leave to find their own territory. Once they turn into an adult, the cycle just repeats over and over. Their life expectancy is 2 to 5 years, but many don't survive their first year. But they can live up to 7 to 10 years by avoiding dangers of pollution, disease, and human dangers. And when held captive, they can live up to 10 to 14 years. Habitats of red foxes is that they live in a wide variety of habitats, including grasslands, forest, farmland, and wetlands. They prefer areas with a mix of open space for hunting and cover for hiding and denning. In Saskatchewan, they are common in prairies, parklands, and forest edges, and can even live in towns and cities if food is available. Red foxes are omnivores, meaning they eat both animals and plants. Their main food sources include small mammals like mice, voles, rabbits, and squirrels, bird eggs, when available, insects like grasshoppers and beetles, fruits and berries in warmer months, carrion, and human food waste, especially near towns and farms in Saskatchewan. Since they are very adaptable, they will eat anything in the environment. Some of the red fox's behaviors are mating in January to March in winter times. They often form a pair bond during breeding season, and the female raises the pups in a den. And their behaviors whenever they eat is that they're opportunistic hunters, mostly active at dusk and night. They stalk and pounce on small prey like mice, and also scavenge or eat fruits when needed. Denning, which is often confused with hibernation, but it's not, as red foxes do not hibernate. Instead, they use dens to rest, raise their young, and stay warm in bad weather. Dens are usually in hillsides, under roots, or abandoned burrows. Their activity levels are nocturnal, meaning that they're most likely active at dawn, dusk, and night, and rest during the day. Their average size is that their body length is about 45 to 90 centimeters, and their tail length is about 30 to 55 centimeters. Their weight is between 6.5 to 15 pounds. Foxes are prey to coyotes, wolves, large birds of prey like eagles or hawks, especially young foxes. Humans like vehicle collisions or hunting in some areas. Breeding locations are usually in their dens, and their courtship is during winter. Males and females form pairs. Courtship usually includes playful chasing, calling, and grooming, which helps strengthen their pair before mating. Breeding behavior happens from January to March. After mating, the female raises the pups alone in a den, while the male brings food. The young are born in spring and stay in the den for several weeks before emerging. The way that young foxes are identified is with their reddish-orange fur, their white chest and belly, and black legs and ear tips. They also have a very bushy tail with a white tip, which is one of their most recognizable features. Their face is narrow with pointed ears and a long snout. And red foxes are not endangered. They are spread across all North America, safe and sound. Some of their physical adaptation is their thick fur. It keeps them warm in cold climates like Saskatchewan. And their bushy tail, used for balance and also as a blanket when sleeping. Their sharp teeth and claws to catch prey like mice and rabbits. And their excellent hearing, which can detect small animals under the snow. Their behavior is nocturnal, mostly active at night, catching food, use of dens, and opportunistic diet. Common diseases are rabies, mange, which is sarcopic mange, which means caused by tiny mites that burrow into the skin. Canine distemper, which is a virus that affects the nervous system and the respiratory system. The parasites are ticks and fleas, which feed on their blood and can weaken the fox. Tapeworms and roundworms. And that is all for my Saskatchewan. Thank you so much for listening. Goodbye.